Ladies and gentlemen, the Bangles. And welcome to the Bengal Sunday Funday Hour. I'm your host Jamie, and I want to get right into the music today. It's a special day here on the Bengal Sunday Funday. We're going to have a double play music day on the show. So tonight through the show, you'll be hearing back-to-back songs as we go through the list of artists on the Bengal music family tree. We're starting off tonight with a special new release from the Action Skulls, their first release in almost 3 years. The new single, Find the Good, is from the upcoming album, From a Running Horse. Vicki Peterson, husband John Cowsill, and Bill Mumy all had a part in writing the song. Here is John Cowsill talking about a track from their previous album that really touched him.
You chose You Heal My Soul. Could you tell us about that one?
Yeah. Oh, God, when Bill sent that to me, first of all, I just loved Bill Mumy and his voice. It's that Randy Newmanish kind of soulful. He just has that gorgeous voice, and he writes so well in that piano thing, and it just moved me so much. We couldn't wait to put backgrounds on there, Vicki and I, and we've got a choir in the corner. It's
beautiful.
So emotes so much to me, and just calms me down. And I just love that song so much. So
here is the new single from Action Skulls, Find the Good, on the Bengal Sunday Funday Hour.
15 birds in a sycamore tree, perched up high looking down at me, bowing my head, bending my knee, asking for a reason why. All those years gone in a flash, disappeared with most of my cash. Memories fade like smoke and ash, looking for a reason why. Find the good, it's getting tougher. Find the good, rough times are rougher. Wish I could. Find the good. My love moves like the waves at sea, sees it all pass patiently, lets me be who I must be, doesn't need a reason why. Sat myself down in the sun, closed my eyes, came all undone, couldn't find an answer, one waiting on the reason why. Find the good. dancing for a reason why. Fill the vase with flowers new, doing what I'm supposed to do. Pick them fresh from where they grew. Love's the reason why. Find the good. It's getting tougher. Find the good. Find the good. Rough times are rougher. Wish I could. 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 Find the good. Find the good. Find the good.
Some days I don't know what I'm gonna do. Sometimes everything I learn seems untrue. Nothing right now adds up to too much till I see your smile and feel your sweet touch. You heal my soul, you heal my soul. Deep in my heart, your love keeps me whole. Darling, you heal my soul. I've never been one of the religious kind. I've looked to nature for my peace of mind. She's never lied, never once been untrue. I don't trust the men telling me what to do. You heal my soul, you heal my soul. Deep in my heart, your love keeps me whole. Darling, you heal my soul. If waiting with you is forever, I will be sorrowful, never. You heal my soul, you heal my soul. Deep in my heart, your love keeps me whole. Darling, you heal my soul. Someday I know these hard times will pass. Dear friends and family will walk the green grass. Time it will come when we all gather close. And you are the one that I love and thank most. You heal my soul, you heal my soul. Deep in my heart, your love keeps me whole. You heal my soul, you heal my soul. Deep in my heart, your love keeps me whole. Darling, you heal my soul.
And be sure to look for the Action Skulls' new album once it's released. Susanna has stayed very busy during the pandemic. From writing her first novel, to writing the entire screenplay for that novel, and even finding time to release a new album, The Deep End. She started working on the album in 2021 when she learned producer Peter Asher was interested in working with her.
Coming out, I mean, by the way, most of the time when an artist is writing a book, they don't have time for an album.
I know.
What's going on over there?
Well, okay, I have to reconstruct the timeline. I was working on the book for many years. It was an absolute labor of love. It was kind of something I'd wanted to do my whole life because I love reading and I loved being inside of stories, whether in a movie, a song, a book. I'd always dreamed of doing it. And a few years back, I was just talking with my husband and kids about it, and my older son Jackson said, "Mom, what are you waiting for? Just do it." So I just on my own kind of quietly was working for years on this novel, and it was an unexpected pleasure. I didn't really, I'd never studied writing. It's like with music. I've always been self-taught with music as well. I don't actually can't read a chart. It's like a dirty little secret, but I guess I let that into the universe now. But the same with writing. I just learned from books that I loved, and loving story, loving being inside of a story. It's escapist for me. I can escape my ruminations about my own life and just disappear into somebody else's journey. So I just took the plunge, as they say, straight into the deep end. The album title is based on this incredibly, incredibly beautiful Holly Humberstone song, but it all fit with the story of both the novel and, how I remember throwing myself in the early 80s when I was fresh out of university at UC Berkeley, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And I was going to see Patti Smith and the Sex Pistols and Winterland Ballroom, and I was so psyched about music. And so same thing. I just threw myself into the deep end and hoped that I could figure out how to stay afloat.
Each member of the Bengals are big fans of the Rolling Stones. Susanna decided she wanted to change the point of view to a female perspective on one of her favorite songs, Under My Thumb, right now on the Bengals Sunday Funday Hour.
Under my thumb, the boy who once had me down. Under my thumb, the boy who once pushed me around. It's down to me. The difference in the clothes he wears. Down to me, the change has come. It's under my thumb. That's right. Listen, under my thumb, he's a squirming dog who's just had his day. Under my thumb, a boy who has just changed his ways. It's down to me, yes it is. The way he does just what he's told. Down to me, the change has come. He's under my thumb. It's alright. Under my thumb, a Siamese cat of a toy. Under my thumb, he's the sweetest pet. He's my boy. It's down to me. Oh yeah. The way he talks when he's spoken to. Down to me, the change has come. He's under my thumb. Looking from a window above, it's like a story of love. Can you hear me? Came back only yesterday, I'm moving farther away. Want you near me? All I needed was the love you gave. All I needed for another day. And all I ever knew, only you. Sometimes when I think of his name, when it's only a game, and I need you, listen to the words that you say, it's getting harder to stay. When I see you, all I needed was the love you gave. All I needed for another day. And all I ever knew, only you. All I needed was the love you gave. All I needed for another day. And all I ever knew, only you. This is gonna take a long time, and I wonder what's mine. Can't take any more. Wonder if you'll understand, it's just the touch of your hand behind a closed door. All I needed was the love you gave. All I needed for another day. And all I ever knew, only you. And all I ever knew, only you.
And that was a beautiful version of a song called Only You by Susanna on her new album, The Deep End. In 2017, Brad Lehner of Medicine turned back to his original vocalist and co-founder, Annette Zielinskis. They teamed up with another original member of the band in Matt Devine. They decided to make a new album called Scarred for Life. Here is Annette talking about that experience and working with Brad again.
Brad and I got together many, many years ago, and he had some musical ideas, some songs, and I came over and we came up with the song called Ruka, which was on their debut album in the 90s. So we worked together back then, writing some songs, and, you know, at the time I was in two other bands, and one was on a major label, so I had to, I couldn't be in several bands at that time. I had to fulfill that label thingy. So Medicine went on to become this great band, and then I did my thing, and then somewhat recently we just sort of stayed in touch and said, hey, let's get back together and see what we can come up with. And so it was Brad's idea to do covers, and I was up for it. You know, I didn't really know what we were going to do. So we all, including Matt Devine, Brad, and myself, had ideas of songs we'd like to cover. Mine was Sally Go Round the Roses. But actually my version was the Great Society version. But the Janette's version, the one we recorded, definitely lends itself better. Working with Brad was absolutely seamless. It was organic. We just kind of took it as it went. You know, we would do it on weekends, and, you know, there was no hard schedule deadlines. I worked with Matt, but he was in the studio separately. Like, he would come in, you know, because they live out in Chatsworth, and I'm downtown. So I didn't really work with Matt one-on-one, but I certainly did with Brad. But I adore Matt, and his parts came out amazing. They're so good.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you guys sound, it sounds...
My humble opinion.
Yeah. Ours as well. So, Annette, do you have a favorite track from Scarred for Life?
Yeah, I have a few. You know, first it was the title track, Scarred for Life. Expecting to Fly, Sentimental Lady. I'd say those are probably, am I forgetting something? I think those are my top three. And Dead Time Bummer Blues, the Judy Sills cover. I love that version. To me, it sounds like almost something, very Beatle-like. And since Brad and Matt are huge Beatle fans as well as myself, it definitely has sort of a Revolver-esque sound to it, which I love. Yeah, and it kind of, to me, it always sort of reminded me, if you listen to the song, it's a Judy Sills song, if you know anything about her, it was when she was in jail, I think, and wrote that song about her experience in jail. And I always thought it sounded like sort of like a point of view from sort of a mountain girl perspective, you know what I mean? And we were recording it right when Tarantino was filming, and I said, oh man, if only I could have like hustled that song to him some way, somehow, but timing wasn't right, obviously. And
Can I ask you about, first of all, Jeff and I were super excited to hear your harmonica on Dead Time Bummer Blues.
Oh yeah.
Was that another organic decision to include it?
God, I'm trying to remember if it's in the original or not. No, it's not. So we did pull that in ourselves. That was Brad's idea because he always sort of got a kick that I played harmonica, and I've been playing harmonica like even before I picked up the bass. It's funny, I was just talking about this, and that just sort of stood out in his mind. He remembered that. He's like, yeah, let's just bring on some harmonica, and so we did, and we put it through like just crap load of distortion and echo, and it's more like an ambience, but it was something that was not on the original version, of the Judy Sills song. That's another thing. These songs, a lot of them I didn't really practice. He just said, here, let's do it. So it was kind of on the spot.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, not all of them, but some of them were like, hey, let's just try this. We're here. Okay. And then bam. Yeah, it was like that.
Taking can tell. When we walk in the dark,
was Medicine with The Sweetest Girl. When the Bangles broke up in 1989, Debbie was trying to figure out what she was going to do next musically. It was Miles Copeland who suggested working with another drummer, who happened to be in a famous all-female band. Even though things didn't work out for them, it led to a great new bandmate and the start of a new band named Kindred Spirit. Here is Debbie Peterson to tell you about the experience and how things worked out.
Yeah, we're Harmony Pigs. We've always loved it.
I've heard that name before.
What, Harmony Pigs?
Yes, yes.
Well, actually, that was a name that when I did the Kindred Spirit, which was in the early '90s, I worked with Siobhan Marr, and I worked with Christian Nesmith, and we dubbed ourselves the Harmony Pigs when we were recording our little CD a long time ago.
Right.
Many years ago.
So if I understand correctly, that project started off with you and Gina Schuck, is that right?
Originally, yes, that was an original. Like, what am I going to do now? The Bangles broke up. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do creatively now, musically? What in the world am I going to do? And so I think that was actually a Miles Copeland suggestion. What about you and Gina Schuck getting together? And they were like, I was like, okay, 2 drummers, but yeah, that could be interesting. And so we kind of wrote some songs together, and wrote a few good songs, but it was just something that just kind of just didn't gel. I think probably personality-wise it wasn't gelling, and it was an experience. I don't know if it's a good experience, but it's definitely an experience for me to work with somebody else. And then I hooked up with Siobhan, and that was a much better experience for me because we had a lot more musically in common, and vocally we just blended like crazy. It was almost like having my sister, which is I love doing that. I love to blend with other people, and I'm pretty lucky that I can do that. But Vicki and I definitely having the sibling vocal blend was nothing like that with like any other sibling group,
What do they call that? Blood harmonies or something like that? I've heard recently.
Blood harmonies.
Yeah. So
we were bleeding when we did those harmonies, I'll tell you.
Here are those amazing harmonies that Debbie was talking about. Ask Me No Questions in a cappella by Kindred Spirit on the Bangles Sunday Funday Hour.
If I told you I don't mind, would you believe me when I say to you, you're not my kind? Do I deceive you with this fragile disguise? Ask me no questions and I will tell you no lies. If she could read my heart, it would break her mind. So I pretend all these tears on my face don't imply that I'm not happy just to see you with her. One small voice that will never be heard. I'm in love with you. Oh, I'm in love with you. Turn away when you look in my eyes. Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies. I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you. Oh, I'm in love with you. Trying to smile with a hole in my heart. No one knows I'm falling apart. I'm in love with you. Oh, I'm in love with you. But I turn away when you look in my eyes. Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies. I'm in love with you. Hey boy, what are you doing? What are you saying with that in your hand? You're saying nothing. You're talking to no one. You give me the needle, I give you my hand. Hey boy, I see you are leaving this country to die alone. Your ship is no Mayflower, and you are no pilgrim. You are a victim of the poppy fields. So tell me why there are poppies, so many poppies in this field of corn. Hey boy, I see you have nothing, no family to tell you you're slipping away. You fly to a country, it's poor and it's hungry, its children need feeding, but not in your way. So tell me why you are a poppy, like so many poppies in this field of corn. Who tends the garden? Who feeds the children? Who's growing poppies in this field of corn? In a foreign country, forever England, we're growing poppies in their fields of corn, in their fields of corn.
That was Debbie and Kindred Spirit with Poppies in a Field of Corn. Bangles' most recent studio album came in 2018 with the release of the 3x4 Paisley Underground. The 3 o'clock Rain Parade, and Dream Syndicate were all involved with the Bangles in the original movement. This was the first live studio. Oh, I can't talk. This was the first live studio recording for founding bass player Annette Zelenskis with the band since the original EP back in 1982. Annette, who's a multi-instrumentalist, played the harmonica on the song Talking in My Sleep. That's the name Vicki Peterson gave for the warped harmonica that she played. Here is Annette talking about that experience of recording the album.
That's the beauty of music. It's so cross-generational and just so ubiquitous and, so powerful, really. It was wonderful. It still is. It still is. It's really fun. Very fun.
And that when you...
No, music is great. Just, I'm still excited by it, and I don't feel jaded, because that was never been my purpose. Was, of course, to make it is a great thing. Of course it is, but that wasn't my number one goal. It was just for the absolute joy of singing or playing and doing it in front of people.
Oh, that's cool.
So
That's cool.
it stays kind of fresh and fun, I think, in that way.
I
love it.
You look like you're having a blast. You look like you're having a blast when you're playing.
Oh, really? Because I kind of see myself not smiling. I'm not always the biggest smiler, so I'm like, okay, well, I get to be the cool, like, mysterious, unsmiling bass player. That's okay. That works. But no, I'm having fun for sure. Absolutely.
It still shows in your eyes, regardless of what your mouth is doing.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. The soul. Windows of the soul.
So I wanted to tie in you talking about playing the harmonica and being with the Bangles again. You actually got to record with the band on the recording sessions for 3x4, and you guys were back in the studio, and we kind of giggle when we read that you played the demonica on Talking in My Sleep.
It's so demonica. It's super warped and perverted harmonica. It's just like put through, God, do we put it through distortion? It's just, so it doesn't really sound like a harmonica anymore. It sounds like a demonica now.
So who came up with calling it that?
I think it was Vicki.
Oh,
Vicki Peterson came up with demonica. Yeah, she's good with the words.
So how did you like...
the lyrical content.
How did you like being back in the studio and recording these songs specifically?
I just love being in the studio, period. I'm fast. I'm real fast. I love it. I love recording any way, shape, or form. So yeah, it was quick and easy and fun, and we did it in two different places. I can't remember the name of it. One was in Venice, and the other recording we did at Susanna's place. Mm-hmm. And it was painless, I only had to do one take about 50 times, and it was great. No, I'm just kidding. No, we did it really quick, super quick, which is how we did the first EP. You know what I mean? It was just the same way. Yeah. So there were no meltdowns, no nothing, no freakouts. Only good freakouts. And I got to play harmonica again, so that was always good.
Nice.
Here is Vicki, along with members of the 3 O'Clock, Rain Parade, and Dream Syndicate, to talk about what it was like being part of the Paisley Underground movement and what the LA club scene was like.
Tell me about the clubs you guys were playing, the Anti-Club, and where is that, Little Armenia? And what are they? Cathay de Grand and Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Where else were you guys playing? Where were your stomping grounds?
Club 88, the Music Machine. We discussed that. Yeah.
The Whiskey and the Roxy.
Absolutely.
Even at a certain point. I mean, early on, even. The Enclave. I'm thinking of
Enclave we played.
I'm blank. Al's Bar. That was.
Oh yes, downtown. Al's Bar.
That's one I'm really nostalgic about when I think about Al's Bar shows.
We played the Concert Factory in Orange County.
That sounds fancy.
Yeah, it does.
It was. It was. It was the night after we performed on MV3, which was the same time. And kids touched us because all of a sudden we were on TV. It was very amusing.
You're a star.
It touched us. If you were in any of those clubs in the early 80s, maybe you rubbed elbows with these guys. Let's get into one of these songs. We're talking about a tribute to different bands that represent the Paisley Underground. And we have the Bangles, Dream Syndicate, Rain Parade, and the 3 o'clock doing a few songs each of each other's on this new album that's out.
And here are the Bangles off the 3x4 album, covering the Rain Parade song, Talking in My Sleep, right here on the Bengal Sunday Funday Hour.
I know I'm talking in my sleep, sleeping in my dreams, dreaming on my feet. I don't know what it means. There's something in my head, but it don't
Debbie Peterson, rocking out an awesome cover of Jet Fighter by the 3 O'Clock. As the show comes to a close tonight, I wanted to take a minute to thank everybody for tuning in to the Bengal Sunday Funday Hour. I really hope that you've enjoyed the music of these great artists from the Bengals. If you've enjoyed the music that you've heard tonight, I would ask that you would take a deeper look into each of these artists' collection and keep supporting their great music. We have time tonight to play 2 more short songs on our special double play hour. These last 2 come from Blood on the Saddle, and my personal favorite album of theirs, Poison Love. We will leave you with Annette taking us home, and we hope that your life is very happy indeed. Here is Blood on the Saddle with Poison Love, followed by I'm Gonna Steal You Away. We'll catch you next week on the Bengal Sunday Funday Hour.
I love the red sun and how much you offer. Set to sing a song to fill my life with laughter. My life shall be happy, my life shall be gay. Way out on the mountains I will laugh and sing all day. Poison love from a magic bud. Trouble follows when you let go. My visions of love have all faded away. I woke up this morning to a dark, lonely day. He promised to love me, he called me his flower. Swore he'd stand by me through life's weary hour. Poison love from a magic bud. Trouble follows when you it's you up the letter of my eye. Try to be living and I was brought up. Living and fighting with the love of the black guy. Getting in trouble with the love of the shine. Supposed to know what I'm doing, but better do it now. I'll be your room. Poison running to the bank. You put that not just better with the bank. Poison love from a magic bud. Trouble follows when you let go. Love is a poison, magic bud. Trouble follows when you drink love. When you drink love. When you drink Thank you.
It's Friday night and I just got paid. I've been working the sun all day.
I'm looking forward to this weekend. Tonight I'll be with my boyfriend.
I washed my car and it's running fine. I'm coming over, be ready on time.
Well, I can't wait till the sun goes down. We'll go riding around the town.
I'm gonna steal you away. 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 My heart is filled with joy, 'cause you're my girl and I'm your boy.
Tonight is rest I want to roam. I won't be satisfied here alone.
I'll blast the radio. Come on, honey, let's go to the show.
I'll listen for your motor outside. Soon I'll sit right by your side.
I'm gonna steal you away. 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 Drive up this freeway into the setting sun.
Soon I'll see your tender smile.
Well,
We'll be having so much fun.
We'll go riding around the one.
I'm gonna steal you away. 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 I'm gonna steal you away.